Beautiful people, welcome back to another episode of Point of View. Today we've got Crystal Williams and Sunset joining us. Thank you, ladies. Hey. And trust me, we have a lot to get into today. Coming up, if you've ever dealt with terrible customer service, you might want to hear why Frontier Airlines is making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Then in Girlfriend's Guide, we're breaking down something called a lavender marriage. Yeah, it's a thing. And of course, you won't want to miss unpopular opinion. So grab a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. So y'all, things went down over at Frontier Airlines between a customer service agent and a passenger just trying to check in. Allegedly, this whole situation started when the Frontier employee refused to check in a customer who arrived 30 minutes before his flight. Get this, y'all, because he hadn't paid a $25 agent assistant fee. Now, we know there are two sides to every story, but let's take a look and then we'll break down how this situation could have been handled a lot differently.
I paid for a ticket.
And you paid $25 for an agent assistant and you checked in 3 hours later. Hello.
I just said that I.
Get on your flight.
Yeah, I just said that I would pay the $25.
And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight. And you thought you was gonna get on your flight.
I literally paid for a ticket. I'm here 30 minutes. I'm here 30 minutes before my flight, and they're not letting me check in.
And you're not getting on your flight.
Because it's a policy. We don't control that.
And you will never fly.
You were about to let me check in. You were about to let me check in, and you decided that you ain't gonna let me check in.
Make me check you in.
You literally work for a company that I bought a plane ticket.
Oh, wow. So what do y'all think about that? Yes.
I wish I knew like a little bit more, of what happened, initially when we got there, and kind of just to see a little bit better about how it played out. But one thing I will say is back in the day when I was bold enough to even attempt to fly Spirit or Frontier, I learned the hard way that if you are not at least an hour and 15 minutes, you can hang it up. Because they're going to cancel that flight or they're going to tell you cannot get on it and you're getting no reimbursement whatsoever. They're not even going to say, hey, let's see if we can get you on the next flight. So 30 minutes before your flight, you should have just...
Wow.
I think it was just real disgusting how she was provoking him. Even if she didn't feel like he was in the right, even if it was policy, there's a way in which you handle a customer or a situation. We're still human. So her saying, but you're not going to get on that flight, but you're not going to, it's like, why are you provoking him?
Antagonizing.
Yeah, and antagonizing him. You don't know what that man had to get to.
Right.
You don't know his personal story. Why didn't you just ask him, well, why were you late? What can I do to help you? Here's our policy. What happened?
Yeah.
And understand the situation. We're losing humanity, I feel, when we handle situations like that.
Absolutely.
Well, the girl next to her wasn't helping either.
Yeah.
Like when you have two agents, first of all, why do you have your phone recording?
Right.
Aren't you at work?
We're
Your job is customer service.
Service.
Now, I can understand if he was belligerent, he was irate, then you have security, you have all these things for that. But instead, you want to now retaliate and give the same behavior, but expect to be held at a different standard? No.
Right.
Yeah, they don't pay them enough for that, though.
Exactly.
Like, you're not paying to be security. You're not paying to make a customer feel this way. Like, why are you taking this job as if this is your sole responsibility in life? Like, oh, I'm going to fight my way out.
Right.
Now look.
Right. Well, some people just love to act like that. I mean, you go to the fast food restaurants or something.
That's
how they
about
act.
that sweet and sour sauce.
Oh, girl. You not about to get nothing.
Fight you down about that.
Right.
Hold on, you know what I do in a case like that? I take out $100 bill. Okay, baby. Go ahead, let me get one.
Oh, and let them have.
I'm just that bold. I'm just that disrespectful.
I love it.
No problem. Give me one, and I want all of my change.
That's right. All of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead. Now, you had said you would have liked to have seen what transpired prior to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have liked to see how this, started.
Yeah.
Because one, we know that we can tell by them having their phones out. Okay, he was, recording first. I think they definitely went way too far. It was ridiculous. I wonder, is my mic working?
Is it working yet? No, it's still not working. Okay. You want to say that in my ear? No.
Okay.
What I think Tally is definitely saying about seeing the bigger picture.
Right.
Absolutely. Because there's 1,000 views of this and we only got to see 1 minute.
Right.
I'm sure that whole encounter lasted at least 5 minutes.
Yes.
Maybe even more. But here's the problem. Let him record, let him do what he wants. How you respond is what the world saw. They did not care about anything this man said
That's right.
and how he carried on. Because you are at work, and when you are at work, you're representing someone else. Had Frontier belonged to me, because it will be soon, because y'all got problems.
Right.
Period. Right? I would fire her, the girl next to her, and the other girl across the way, because some of you need to step up. If you have a supervisor, what is your job, baby? You're
Did she
supposed
get
to come
fired?
over here, too. I hope so.
I think she did.
So was
And
it
you
worth
deserve
it?
it.
Was
Was
it
it?
worth it?
Was
It's like
that
you need a
5 minutes
job,
of fame
you
worth
took
it?
the job, and then and now you're fired because you
Right.
couldn't handle yourself properly as a representative for a professional corporation. What I don't like is though Frontier Airlines nickel and dime you. So I was very surprised about $25 for an agent assistant fee.
But let's be honest,
What is
even
that?
the $25 didn't make any sense.
No.
Because you're already late. 30 minutes, the gate closes 45 before you get there. So you're 30. Sir, I don't care what act of Jesus you're going to use to cross the airport and get to the flight.
You're not getting on.
There
the
is no way.
Uh-huh.
You can't even get through security in 5 minutes.
Right.
Come on now.
But now he was there at the counter though. All they had to do was just let him on.
I know. I was gonna say I'm
Like, he's right there at the
biased. I feel
counter.
like we should've
I think
let
they had a
him.
bad day.
Yeah.
Well, I know
And
he did.
they use that as an audience. But guess what? We're in the world of social media. So what airline is going to now hire you?
Right.
You're bad for business,
would
baby.
not.
Both of you.
I hope
Right.
it was worth it. I hope
I
it
really
was worth
do.
it. I hope
Wow.
she learned from that experience.
I hope so because that was very frustrating for me to even watch.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic, and parents. This one might hit close to home. How do you feel about being held accountable if your kid hits a teacher?
No. I don't agree with it.
Don't want to be held
No,
accountable.
I don't agree with that only because as I've aged and grown, I realize even your kids grow up to be who they want to be. You could have trained them. You could have poured your all into
That's
them.
true.
You could be living for your kids
Yeah.
and do everything you can, and they will still decide to do the opposite of what you taught them.
Yeah.
So I can't be held responsible for another human being, even if it came out of me. I'm just sorry.
Right.
So to say that the parents will be held accountable, yes, sometimes charity starts at home, right?
Yeah.
But there's so many other factors like their environment, the friends. Kids take their friends' opinion more serious than their parents. So at what point are we going to hold the environment accountable and maybe have a community meeting and see what's happening in the community versus just what's at home?
Yeah.
Like we're beyond that.
Well, the Georgia's teacher union just proposed a law that could hit parents with fines, community service, and even, jail time if their child attacks a teacher. Now, this all came about because the violence in school continues to rise with over 750 incidents reported just last year alone. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, some say this will finally bring back discipline in the home, while others argue it's unfair to put all the blame on parents. So where do we stand on this? Where do we draw this line?
Yeah, I feel like, at the end of the day, what Sunset said is so accurate. And, I learned that, raising my sisters and my cousins and ultimately, my kids. And so even my son, my 17-year-old, for instance, he is an amazing person. And at one point, I remember when he was in middle school, I would literally be arguing back and forth with anybody, going to bat for whatever they said that he did because I just know not my son. But you cannot vouch for anybody. And so I really don't think that parents should be held accountable. Now, I do feel like discipline in the homes should be turned back up, turned on, whatever, because we've been off it. So many parents we see are like, oh, don't say anything to my child, or, and so the saga continues. But at the end of the day, parents are not responsible for what their kids do on the street, unfortunately.
Yep.
I still
But what
believe
about-
it takes a village, though.
I was
I
just
think
about to
so.
say
I
that.
still
I was
believe in
just
the
about to
concept
say
that we grew up on.
Yeah.
It's not to say, you don't have to be rude to the child or whatever, but we have this notion that no one can talk to your child. So guess what? When your child sees and hears that,
Right.
that's exactly
They
how they're
run.
going to
That's
act.
how they
Yeah.
act.
And that's what they're going to
This
do.
is controversial, and I don't really want to say it, but I feel like that aspect of it of no one can talk to my child and, not valuing the village is more like an American thing. Like, I feel like, West Indian cultures, African cultures, things like that, they really value the village.
Yep.
But I see so many American people say, no, you can't say nothing to my child, don't talk to my baby, don't hit my child. And the younger generations, I don't feel like,
Because I mean,
that's definitely
Yeah.
true.
I
No,
agree.
I agree with that 100%. Because even in my household, I'm Haitian. The whole neighborhood could whoop me. My
Absolutely.
parents, yes, when they were disciplining my sister, they put her in the middle of the neighborhood and whooped her in front of the entire neighborhood for something she did. So when it comes to the Western world, we do not operate that way. Everybody is responsible for the children, not just one person, and that's how we end up thriving. So I don't even know the American lifestyle where people are like, you can't talk to my kid. That kid better not come near mine or me, because I will discipline them.
Yeah.
When I go to the park and your kid put their hands on mine or something happens, I step in and I do something, and I dare you to do something.
Oh,
about
Lord,
it.
you're going to be the lady we was talking about the other day on the news now.
Sorry,
What they said she gonna raise $700,000 for calling a little black kid
Oh, God.
I'm that
nigga,
parent because these
Jesus.
parents will let their kids do anything and they'll sit right there and don't say nothing.
But let's be
Like,
honest, the parent, the child hitting the teacher,
Yeah,
there used to be fear of teachers.
Yeah.
Let's be like, there's roles that we had fear of. There's roles that we had to know, we had to respect them. We had to do all these different things. So at this point, it's almost like you're teaching your child that they're invincible. They can say whatever and do whatever, which is why the world is going the way that it is.
But does society even value teachers?
No.
Let's start
No.
there. These
No, they
people
don't
are
value
underpaid,
anything.
undervalued, and you guys expect them to do the world's work
Right.
Yeah.
and get hit.
Right.
Come
They
on,
hold
like,
they
that's
have your
not-
child longer than you do.
Literally, like,
A
be,
day.
be for real. No,
Yeah, but
it's
you ain't going to come
unacceptable.
check me about what my child, I mean, you can check me, but I'm not going to jail
Right,
for what
right.
my child did, baby. Y'all take it up with the Lord.
Has there ever been a time for you guys where the teacher said your child did something, your child said no, and they really did?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, don't like that. We have to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll be getting into Girlfriend's Guide and Unpopular Opinion. So stay tuned. You're watching POV.
Shout out to our viewers that are sticking with us on our social medias. And we have a question for you guys at the table as well as you guys at home. What's the best way to let your guests know when it's time to wrap it up, baby? Y'all need to head on home.
Y'all don't want to come to my house because listen, it's time to go.
Yeah.
Straight up, it's done. We are
I'll
gone.
go grab the
Music
blanket.
off. Start noticing all the food is gone and the doors are open, baby. You gotta go.
Yeah. I don't have guests at my house like that though. I don't.
Yeah, me
I really
either.
don't. Not many people come to my home. I'm very secluded. I'm very it's exclusive. If you come to my home, you're one of those people that know me. So you already know when it's time to go. You'll be like, all right, y'all, I'm going. They usually know when it's time to go versus me having to tell them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I have a hard time, even like having a hard time telling people it's time to go and it's time to get off the phone. Because there's times I'm like, I have been on there an hour. And only because I have not been able to say,
You don't
look,
know how
I
to
gotta go.
segue.
Get off the phone. Yeah, and I'm like, I gotta start learning to say
Find
bye-bye.
that strength. You gotta
Maybe I'm
find
too
the
direct. I
strength,
tell a
yeah.
person, I'm like, baby, you're so long-winded.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am so direct.
That is so funny. I am always hosting at my house, and so my go-to to get people on out of there is I'm saying I'm about to take a shower. And so you already know, baby. If I'm getting in the shower, you can't hang around. You know what I'm saying? I might want to come out naked afterwards. So yeah, it's time to go.
So toodaloo.
Exactly. Y'all, what they say, you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here.
That's right.
Amen.
Okay, y'all, we'll get back to the show in a few seconds. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. You're watching POV.
Yes, welcome back. It's time to get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. All right, so Barry Diller, the tech billionaire and longtime husband of fashion icon Diane von Furstenberg, did I say it right? Furstenberg, just got real about his sexuality. At 83 years old, he's addressing those long-standing rumors about being gay, saying, while there have been a good many men in my life, there's only ever been one woman, and she didn't come into my life until I was 33. That's what he said. So apparently the rumors were true, but a lot of folks are wondering, why marry stay married to a woman for so long if you're not living in your truth? Tell us.
Lord,
Because
well,
they know how to make sure that the money stays where it's
and he's a
supposed to be.
billionaire. Yeah, he needed someone to go to those parties with him. But listen,
Be his beard.
exactly. I'm trying to figure out. This man said there has been a good many men.
That's what he said.
I mean, many men. Many men.
I'm super disturbed. I'm gonna say this because this man is 83, y'all. It just grinds my gears that he waits till he's almost at the other side of the door to admit that he like many men. Like, why live a life of lie and why have other people living in that lie with you? It goes to say that how men, they typically want to have their cake, eat it too. And he waits till he's again on the other side of the door now to be truthful.
Yeah.
You wasted so many times and so many lives of, untold truths, and you got other people involved and mixed in your stories. And I know she separated from him and she had an affair, by the way, if y'all didn't know. And so they separated, then got back together. So I do believe it was arranged. I do believe that.
Arranged marriage
But it's
happen all
still
the
like,
time.
why not just live in your truth? I know he had other people mixed up in his lives by not being forthcoming.
Yeah, but I also look at it like he's 83. So think 83 years ago, what life was like 63 years ago. You couldn't come out and say certain
I
things.
can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt his pocket at the end of the day. And let's be honest. Who are we to judge what his truth is? They could have been happy inside.
Yeah.
Will and Jada were super happy.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing, though. He could have been happy, but he admitted he wasn't. That's what I'm trying to get to.
No, I'm talking the arranged part.
mini men.
Oh, okay,
We're
yeah, the
talking
arranged
she
part.
know what she.
Yeah, she know
I'm
what
sure
she
there's the
signed
many
up for.
men's for her. Too.
Yes.
And you never know. We've seen some creative arrangements where sometimes the wives are, they're fine with it. They understand.
Right.
Sometimes they watch,
Yep.
or,
Yep.
whatever the situation may be. So, I mean, it's disturbing to me. And, I mean, who are we to judge? But, hey, the Bible
We
says you can tell the
judge,
tree
y'all.
by the fruit that it
Right,
bears.
I
I'm
was gonna say,
judging,
we-
baby.
I
Because
hate
that
that
back
word.
door is for escape, not input. Okay? I'll be the one to say it. That's how they be getting all that colon cancer.
Oh, God. Oh, my
Okay.
goodness. Oh, my. Wow. Leave it to Tally to say
Whatever she.
what she wants to say. That's right.
Hey.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
I'm going to tell you this. My best friend, I told him, look, now, if I don't get married at a certain time, we're going to have to get married because I need somebody to take care of me.
Is your
That's
best
gonna
friend
be you.
gay?
He was, yes. And I said that I need somebody to take care of me. Now, that was going to be arranged. Like, he knew what he wanted to do,
Yeah.
right? And I know that, right? But, hey, I need somebody
Well,
to
you
take
was going
care
to
of
get
me.
married to do what with him, Raquel?
To be married.
And you
He
was
needs
going
to
to have
be my
you was
husband and take care of me.
But you,
a lot of
so
people
was
in the
you going to do
military
the
do
wifely duties?
No, well, no, I wasn't going to do that.
Oh, okay.
He don't want none of that. He said, I don't want none of that.
Say that
lot of people in
now.
the
What if
military
it
do that,
changes?
No,
the benefits.
For the benefits.
He was not about none of that.
Okay.
They do it for the.
And I don't even
That's
understand that because if we're being honest, these military benefits, there ain't no benefits.
No, they're not. But when you have none,
Yeah, yeah.
and you need some, you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
I
until you
told them-
come out shell shocked, standing in the corner in the middle of the night, waking
my
up
goodness.
shooting spiders.
There you
I
go.
told him we gonna get married. He said, "Oh Lord, please let her find a husband, please, because I just can't do it. I
But
can't do it."
at least they know
Yeah.
between the two what's going on, because I know other hairstylist men who were married knowing they were
years,
gay,
for
knew
years.
the wife knew nothing, and then cold turkey, you drop it on her
See,
and go
yeah,
be with the
that's
man.
what I'm-
That's
You
not
created a
right for
whole
that.
facade for this woman,
Yeah.
and now she's distraught and broken.
Right.
Yeah, and she can't get her time back. Like, time is the
cannot.
most important thing that we
You can't
have.
replace it.
You cannot. Like, it's just.
Now, did Diane von Fetzenberg? Now, did she know that he was gay? And they
Raquel.
Maybe because
Raquel.
there isn't such thing as a lasting
Tally.
marriage. And
Tally.
that's when a couple, usually a gay person and a straight person,
Yep.
gets married to, keep up
She knew.
appearances. So I
She
think
knew.
that's definitely what they were doing.
She
Between
knew.
the
She
two,
knew.
when you
She
got
knew.
the word billion,
Yeah.
million, even hundreds of thousands,
See, that's the
we're gonna do this together.
situation.
baby.
Right.
We're
As
gonna
women,
figure
we
this
know.
out
We
together,
know
and
all
I'm
the
like, no way.
innuendos. We see everything.
Yeah,
we watch our.
we know it all.
She knew.
I'm not giving up none. You're not giving up none. We're
Yeah.
gonna remain unhappy together until we die with these billions.
Well, I think he was kind of happy. I mean, he was living his truth in the marriage without
with many men.
it being outside.
He
Many
said,
men.
he said she made her. She made him happy, too. So he had the
She probably
best of
did.
both
She
worlds.
probably was everything that he couldn't get from the man. 'Cause
Yeah.
He was a woman.
So this is
And
called
paid.
this is called a lavender marriage. So this is when, so y'all know, when it's a couple, usually a gay person and a straight person gets married to maintain appearances often to hide true sexuality. It was more common in the past when societal pressures made it difficult for people to live openly, especially in the public eye. So that's the background behind lavender marriage.
Yeah.
People should just be more open with their sexuality and not put others in danger.
I think
That's
it's
it.
now.
Well,
that
now
is
it's probably a little
you can
more.
be that
You
way.
can.
Well, it's a little too
couldn't be
much
that
now
way.
because they're forcing it on you. It's like, no, that's what you do, and that's cool. You don't have to force that on nobody. Just be honest about it so people can have a choice.
Listen, all I know, the Bible say
y'all-
black or white, hot or cold, baby. It don't say nothing about lavender. I don't know nothing about it.
That is true, y'all. It's time for the final segment of the day. Let's get into unpopular opinions. Public artwork in the heart of Times Square has people talking, and the feedback has not been all positive. British artist Tom J. Price created a 12-foot bronze statue of a fictional young black woman titled Grounded in the Stars, which was meant to celebrate and elevate black women. However, some are saying it doesn't truly reflect the average black woman and feels more like a missed opportunity for real representation. Now, based on the look of this image, how do you feel about it?
This was in Times Square.
Yep.
Times Square, yes.
Now, what I will say is, I feel like this. People are going too far, in my opinion, with saying it's a misrepresentation, because when they make a person or an image or a figure always skinny and Barbie-like, then you also have other people that don't feel included. And so I feel like, unfortunately, we are living in America, unfortunately, and this is the land of, for lack of a better word, obesity. And so people often look like that. It's common.
No.
That's giving. If you're in the city of Orlando, that's giving very much Poke and Bean, Malibu, Paramore, South Street.
Arms.
Come on now, you gave her the look of. You didn't give her the look of class. In a sense, you didn't portray her as the.
This is
the black
2025.
woman.
Yes,
Right,
but-
class.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
And-
so you walk around here with look like no bra,
No.
some Doc Martens.
No.
When?
No, my biggest thing too, Tally, I want to touch on what you said, because you said the reality of it is some of us do look like that, but that's not the majority. And it's very important when we're talking about representation, when black women are the number one when it comes to education. We're almost number one when it comes to fashion as well. We're consumers in all realms, right? So to say that this is going to represent the masses,
It doesn't.
and then with her attitude, the face, the expression, her hand on her hip, it's almost they missed the mark to me completely.
No, they're
I was trying to
portraying
be- I was
what
trying
they
to be
think we
inclusive,
look
but
like.
you're
Yeah,
right,
no,
you're right,
they
you're
missed
right.
the
Be
mark.
honest.
If I put this in a corporate room, because I have been in corporate, it's giving them to say, yep, you see what I said?
exactly.
You're
Wow.
agreeing to all
Exactly
the
why.
stereotypes, all the microaggressions,
Yes.
everything that we fight every day to be
She looks
against.
aggressive.
That is what that looks like to me.
Well, should public artwork always reflect like reality, or is it that
That's
it's meant to
not-
honor, or is it just artistic interpretation?
No, it's not reality, Raquel. That's my point. Look at four beautiful women right now on this stage. Who reflects that? None. So we cannot keep saying that reflects us. Yes, that may look like someone's mother, someone's auntie. There's a white woman that could look like that as well. We're talking about the entirety of it, right? This is what people will walk into Times Square and consistently see as
now
a
that's
black
true.
woman.
That's
She doesn't even have a smile
I
on
feel
her
like
face.
she looks like a typical New Yorker. They don't be smiling.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I say that.
They were
why
in
I
the
say that.
comments and they were disagreeing too.
She looks. It's if you think about it, she looks the way that they appear, that they want us to appear.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
Yes.
Our hands on our hips. We always got
Yes.
an attitude. Like that's how you
Yes.
portrayed her.
Well, she looks a
you didn't
little
portray
sad
her
to me.
as a woman who looked. Thank you. Depressed.
sad,
Yes,
yeah.
right. Like we're living in exactly where we are. This is how they look at us. So now when we walk into somewhere and we act like her or be like, this is exactly what
look
we
like
were
this
saying.
over Frontier.
That's how.
I didn't say
It's a beautiful statue.
So if they were to put you on her just like that and say that's how you look.
I don't care what they think about me.
So when we talk about elevating black women in art, I mean, how should we really do that? Please tell us.
I think it should come from a black woman. This did not come from a black woman.
Okay.
I would rather it be portrayed from a black woman's mouth, from a black woman's artist.
Yes.
I need all of the people who have an opinion on it to be a black woman. Too many times, so many people have opinions and they don't represent, they're not even of us.
So if the artist was black, would we be more supportive of this art?
A black woman. I guarantee you, if it was a group of black women who had to do this,
That
it would
would've
not
been
look like
different.
that.
It would've been
I
better.
guarantee you.
All
I
right. Well, it's
guarantee
safe to say they were not empowered by that statue. All right. Well, that's a wrap for today's show. But before we sign off, we'll leave you with your quote of the day. I have standards. I don't plan on lowering them for anybody, including myself. Zora Neale Hurston. Thanks for hanging out with us. You are watching POV. We'll see you the next time right here on Afro TV. POV, y'all.